So I'm the guy standing between you and the promised demo. So I'll not take too long. And can anybody guess what I'm going to talk about? Yes. Yeah, it's an easy answer, agents. We actually wanted to have an agent counter so that we count down from morning to evening how many times this is actually mentioned. But we thought it's not a good idea because we're going to talk about it more ourselves. So that's what I wanted to talk about today was how did we approach building the thing that you're going to see in about 5 minutes? And Ramon and Joe are going to talk about it. And what's the philosophy behind it? And of course, there is technical terminology and architecture and block diagrams, which you're going to talk about. But we'll try to talk about it in a more simpler way, which I think is intuitive to a lot of people who are at least thinking about agents or want to do something with agents. So before we move on to why did we build what we built, I think a good question to ask yourself is that why is it called agents? It could be called robots, workers, right? Automations. Why is it that agents has picked up, and why is it called agents? And I think the answer lies in the fact that what you're betting on is that this system actually has agency. It does things by itself. And so when you're designing agents internally or you're talking about it to customers, you're betting on the fact that there is, as they say, a PhD level intelligence which knows what to do. And to actually know what to do, it needs certain tools, right? I can get a PhD from the best university, put them in any business, and on day one, they're not able to answer anything. They're not going to be able to talk about anything because they need access to knowledge, they need access to tools, they need access to information. And that's what our philosophy on building the xLake reasoning engine is that we have been working with our customers and building software which connects to all of these data sources, right? Hybrid, on cloud, through all configurations of possible in an enterprise. And what we do, we provide tooling for semantic discovery, dynamic policy, agentic actions, all of it happening inside the enterprise. And so how does a daily activity on the Acceldata platform look like? So this is some data I actually pulled off. This is about a day's activity on the Acceldata platform. And so we have a hybrid infrastructure. That means it works on cloud, it works on-prem. The total number of assets registered on that day were about 22,450,000. Total tables which were accessed, about 880,000, 900,000. We fired about 200,000, 150,000 rules. Out of those, they were executed almost 722,000 times. Many were successful, many were aborted. The reports and the alerts, like Rohit said, were sent to all the stakeholders. Now, why is this important? It's important because what you must realize is that to make this happen, there has been significant effort which was put in by us as vendors, by our field engineers to train and talk about it to our customers, for our customers to actually bring in people who understand the platform, learn about the platform, go ahead and code these rules into the system, activate them, make sure that they run it on a daily basis, and then there's someone on the customer side and also on our side who's trying to figure out what all of it means and how does it impact the business. And this is really important. Another thing which we really want to talk about is scalability, right? This is a test we did when we put out our platform to the users. We want to talk about our scalability. This is a standard, industry standard benchmark. You would see that, at any given data set size, essentially this is a run for 6.3 billion rows. We run at 3 million rows a second, about 12 nodes, and there's validation happening, there's profiling happening, there's a lot of activity in the platform. And what this tells you is that customers are not just interested in writing rules and writing policies and data quality and data validation, but it needs to happen at enterprise scale. And this is the scale that we are talking about. So when we we were designing the AI engine and the AI platform, we thought about these three things. Number one is that you don't want to have a copilot or an interface which essentially you go in and tell it what to do, right? This is how you write a policy. This is how you find information. This is what you want to do. Because if you think about your daily lives, the most impressive an AI system is when you ask it questions that reveal something and give you information which you probably couldn't get it yourself, right? So if you want to be wowed by ChatGPT, you can ask it, is consciousness emergent or is it fundamental? And the answer will surprise you. And we at Acceldata, what we wanted to do is to make sure we built a system which not just tells you what you have, that you have all these assets and that you have all these policies and all this data. What you need to do is that when customers interact with it, when data scientists, data engineers interact with it, they're able to do much more than they're able to do with business software. Because business software is all about open a form, fill up fields, click 50 different places. It is a boring, repetitive task. And recently I heard someone talk about, in the AI age, you don't really want to know or learn a new UI, right? You don't want to learn, what do I do? How do I open this form? How do I schedule it? The system should tell you what it can do, what it cannot do, and it should be intuitive enough that you can actually discover newer things, just like you do with most common AI systems. And so that's what we have done. What you'll see in the demo is a system which actually understands your business. Why does it understand your business? Because we have the infrastructure as Acceldata, and we have worked on this for the last many, many years to work with the most complicated enterprise systems, right? Our data plane, our technology can hook into as easily into your data center somewhere in Arizona. It can hook into your cloud systems. It can hook into your files. It can hook into your business documents because we have the capability to do it. It can look at structured data, unstructured data. It understands knowledge bases. It understands your alerts. It understands your policies. If you are one of our enterprise customers, you already have thousands of rules running on system, just like I showed you. So this is a really smart PhD level intelligence, which we're going to place into the data system. And now it has the tools. It has the knowledge. It has all access to the information it needs to actually give you an answer which will surprise you. And that's what we've been doing. So when we talk about it, one of the things which we wanted to do is to make sure that just like the agentic future that we are promising, that you want to have agents or smart entities which understand important aspects of your system. So we've built agents around data quality, data governance, AI observability, data observability, bring and top of it essentially layer an interface which is more or less intuitive to how you use AI in your daily lives. And so that's the future we want to build. And we also noticed that one of the biggest conversations that we have with customers and prospects is that, hey, if we use your platform, you have a certain language of how you design things on your platform. But we as a business have other stakeholders as well. And they would like to use your platform as a fundamental architecture on which they would like to build more. Traditionally, this has been done with APIs, right? It's always been APIs. People ask you for APIs, probably not end up using it. And now you have to maintain all these APIs. In the AI world, this is being done by emerging protocols such as MCP, A2A, etc. And we expect this to actually, really take off, where one or many of these essentially replace what REST is to the, web. MCP or A2A will end up becoming to the AI systems in the future. So as a part of our initial launch, we are also launching an MCP server, which kind of works with our APIs and make sure that you can build your data products, your own experiences on top of the data and the knowledge that our agentic data management platform already has. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ramon and Joe to demonstrate our systems, and then I'll come back to talk a little bit more about the MCP server. Thank you.